Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. People started thinking that my opinion was worth as much as your facts, and that's just not true.
Popularity being more important than being right.
You can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing.
Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong.
They are ladies, look at their pronouns.
Offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what?
If you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off.
Woke culture has been toxifying our society for years now, from polarization, cancel culture, to suppression of free speech. As Elon Musk puts it,
the woke mind virus is communism rebranded.
There is one person who's had enough and stood up to this absurdity. British-born comedian Ricky Gervais is well known for not holding back when it comes to calling out woke culture. There have been many times when he has exposed these hypocrisies and nonsense. Even in the presence of the biggest Hollywood stars, Gervais is never afraid to take a dig at their political correctness. Today we'll be looking at some of the most significant moments when Ricky Gervais criticized woke culture and went completely savage on Hollywood. First, let's get started with him talking about woke people getting offended by his jokes.
Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong. If you don't like the facts, don't change the facts, change the feeling. Then they try and do this thing, oh, you should never punch down, you should punch up. Well, who's to say what's up and down is?
Yeah, it's a subjective.
So you're deciding who's down and who's up. No, you don't get to do that.
In an interview, Gervais talked about how Twitter has become one of the most divisive platforms, amplifying polarization to the extreme and playing a significant role in cultivating woke culture.
There's always been, and it's true, my opinion is worth as much as your opinion, but people started thinking that my opinion was worth as much as your facts, and that's just not true. And that came from people finding their groups, and on social media they found their mobs. They found comfort with like-minded people, and it was like two armies. Well, social media is just another form of communication, another outlet. It only amplifies things. You can't say, oh, this is terrible. There are idiots on Twitter, but there are idiots on the high street. You've got to go there, probably at the same percentage. It's just that now people feel they have a voice, right? People wouldn't say things to you in the street that they would on Twitter. There's a forum for everything, and most people feel that they haven't got that forum, and now they have. Now everyone's a critic, everyone's a blogger, everyone's a journalist, and all it does is just amplifies it. Twitter is like being able to read every toilet wall in the world.
Furthermore, in a talk at Oxford University, Ricky Gervais blamed Twitter for the beginning of the demise of humanity.
Because there was such an angry divide, suddenly on Twitter, half the people had MAGA in there, and a picture of the flag and holding a gun, and the other half were crying. If everyone's agreeing with you, you're in an echo chamber. You've just chosen your people to speak to. Controversy is just someone saying something that someone else doesn't agree with. In my new show, I do blame Twitter for the beginning of the demise of, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, of humanity. And Twitter was the one that sort of started popularity being more important than being right. And people have picked up symptoms of that in all walks of life, because it's all about likes, retweets, block someone that doesn't agree with you, so you create your own echo chamber, same as Facebook.
The following clips highlight how Ricky Gervais roasted the hypocrisy of Hollywood stars and their woke agenda, calling out how they use their influential platforms to push political correctness, while often ignoring their own contradictions.
Also not nominated, I Love You, Philip Morris, Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor, two heterosexual actors pretending to be gay. So the complete opposite of some famous Scientologists then. But as I say, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. Now Caitlyn Jenner, of course. What a year she's had. She became a role model for trans people everywhere, showing great bravery in breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers. Jennifer Lawrence made the news when she demanded equal pay for women in Hollywood, and she received, overwhelming support from people everywhere. There were marches on the street with nurses and factory workers saying, how the hell can a 25-year-old live on 52 million? There were plumbers around the world going, poor girl earns how much, fucking hell. But joking aside, of course women should be paid the same as men for doing the same job. And I'd like to say now that I'm getting paid exactly the same as Tina and Amy did last year for hosting it. No, I know there was two of them, but it's not my fault if they want to share the money, is it? That's their stupid fault. It's funny because it's true. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay?
For the next clip, Gervais reiterated his famous quote, "Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right." He also took a dig at the infamous Harvey Weinstein case and responded to the backlash for mocking Hollywood's hypocrisy while hosting the Golden Globes.
And people say they're offended. It's not, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. Offense is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues. And sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. Oh, I was salivating. Honestly, no, I got an adrenaline rush thinking of, you know, what I could say and whether I'd have to go to jail. And I do like that, you know, when there's a tension, when there's an elephant in the room, although he wasn't there this year, I think it takes the audience to a place it hasn't been before. And it can be a mutual backslapping, you know, fest, fine, but don't televise it, you know, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires. Because I was doing other things. I did a series, I did Derek, I did a couple of movies, and I pushed it back because I always thought that stand-up was like the second or third thing I did. Whereas now I've changed my mind because it's such a privilege, and freedom of speech is so important these days. I'm offended. I'm gonna die. So what?
The next bit is taken from Gervais' comedy special. He sarcastically pretended to be woke and mocked woke culture in a humorous yet critical way.
I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and they're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person that isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis in bigot.
Going back to the talk at Oxford University, Ricky Gervais discussed the rise of woke comedy and his concern about the post-truth theory, which played a significant role in the development and intensification of woke culture.
You can make fun of everything, but you've got to know that people have the right to be annoyed and offended and come back at you and make fun of you. So it's not whether you're allowed to. People want to find some sort of justification, but morality isn't absolute, and it's relative. And offence is subjective. So, you know, offence is about feelings. So particularly in America, it's come down to sort of two tribes now, that you're either with him or you're against him. I think comedy is an intellectual pursuit. And as soon as you start relying on the audience agreeing with you, you're suddenly rallying, and I think it loses something comedically. You know, on both sides. You know, I won't name it, but I've seen he was a northern comic, and he came out and he just said, "What are we going to do about all these fucking immigrants?" And he got a round of applause, and I just thought, well, that's not a joke. And offence is good. Offence makes people think. It makes them think. It makes them come up with another argument. I'm just tired of people saying, I'm offended. I want to say, so what? You're just telling me your feelings. I've got a pain in my knee. What do we do about it? That is a worry in this post-truth era, that the more you say a lie, the more people will take it as the truth. It doesn't make it true. I mean, stupidity and ignorance is the biggest danger to humanity.